username here. This video is going to be how to set up Thinkorswim for active trading on options. I had been posting a couple times in chat the progression of my setup and had some questions from people on it, and I tried to explain it with some screen captures with some arrows and circles and stuff, but that didn't work very well, so I thought I would make a video on it, and so this is that video. So I'm starting out with a default, at least what I think I remember as being a default layout when you first open Thinkorswim, and it's just a chart and a watch list and a couple of gadgets, and what we're going to end up with is a couple extra watch lists, one for calls and one for puts, and then a couple of panels over here with the trading ladder for calls and puts. So I'm going to get started. The first thing I would do is link my watch list, my ticker watch list, with my chart. That way, as I click on different watch list items, different tickers, my chart will change with that. And next, I'm going to add the watch list for the calls and puts. So I'm going to come down here and hit the plus sign and add a watch list. Alternatively, if you don't have the watch list already created, I already have them created, you could click up here and hit create watch list, then you name it here, and then save, and it would put it here, and then you can populate it. But instead, I'm going to leave this as my normal ticker list, and I'm just going to take this and add my calls, and take this and add my puts, and now I've got my watch lists. So now I need to add some panels over here, and I do that by clicking up under this on demand, this little box here, and that will let me add panels to the right and down below, and I just need to add two to the right, so I'm going to do that. This one's for calls, this one's for puts. So in order to do that, I need to again link. I already used red, so I'm going to use yellow for calls, yellow there, and I'm going to use blue for puts, and I've got blue there. So I need to select a put, I guess. Okay, so I don't use the chart, so I'm going to deselect that. I use the ActiveTrader, so I'll select those, and I'm going to click this down so that we can see all the options here. I'm going to click auto send so that it sends it through immediately without a confirmation window, and then this way I can see my quantity of contracts. I can change them, and I can also see my templates, and now I've got everything linked here. And when I want to add, let's see, do I have a meta? Yes, I have a meta call here. When I want to add a contract, I can just do a limit order here, and I click it, and it immediately pops it up over there. If I want to cancel it, I can cancel it from there, or I can cancel it on the chart. And let's say I want to actually move it down a little bit. I think it's going to dip a little bit more before I want to get in, or I think it's going to bounce. I'm going to do a 80% or something. You can just drag it and drop it like this. Similarly, let's say I was already into this, I would do a sell order. I can't because I don't own this yet, so I'm going to do it as a buy order. But I would set, let's say I wanted to be, I thought it was going to go to 161. I could get it like maybe just before that. Or let's say I wanted to do this level. Let's say that was my TP. So, you know, I can scoot it around like that. So the templates are interesting. So it defaults at single, but you can set up your own templates. I set all these up myself. You can also delete them. But so it lets you set them up, and I, like, for instance, one I like to use is a 5% stop loss, 10% TP. If I just want a quick 10% scalp on something that's moving. And then when you go to click the buy here, it will bracket it out for you. So let's say I want to buy it there. It will bracket it out, and I can actually change it after I've done that. So let's say I see a pattern difference. I'm like, you know what, I think this thing is going to run. I can change both of these. You can change it either before you buy or after you buy. Then the buy order will disappear, obviously, since it's filled. And then you can still adjust the sell orders. Or if you want to cancel it, just click. So that's my setup. This is a 5-minute chart. I usually make these smaller so that I can have more chart room, but I'm not going to mess with the layout there. You can play with that and make it the way you want it to be. So then the other thing I should probably show you is how to populate these. And so your ticker symbol is up here, and over here, your ticker symbol is there. So this is the ticker symbol for the option. And if you see that, it says your ticker is actually at the very left, meta, and then you have the date the contract expires. Then you have a C or a P. C is for call, and then 160 is your strike price. So up there is that one. Let's see if we can actually click on symbol to sort alphabetically. I'm going to add, I'll show you how to add, I want to add a meta put here. I guess I do have a 160 here. So this one's going to be the exact same, but it's going to have a P instead of a C. And that's for the put. But if I want to add, if I want to populate this, I would go to that same trading tab. Let's say I want to go a little bit more out of the money. I would do a 170 call. So I right click there, copy, click, paste. Now my meta 170 is in there. And if I click on it, this will change. If I want to go closer to the money, closer out, further out. So that's how you populate it. And if you want to get rid of one, just delete, backspace, hit enter, and it will take it out of the list. So there's my 5-minute screen. And this one I do track. I track it if I'm if I'm in a day trade something, then I will track it in here, and I could even change that to a 10 or 15 minute. And then my scalping, I go over to this flexible grid. And again, I'm starting out with just a default. And what I put over here is I'll put one panel for the option contract, and then I'll put 5 panels down below. The first one is a 5-minute of the ticker. This is a 1 minute, so I'll do a 5-minute ticker, a 10-minute ticker. And then the next 3 are for market direction, market indication. So I put VIX, NQ, and ES, so the NASDAQ and the S&P futures. So in order to do that, we go back up to the top here, very similar. Under on demand, it is a little bit different. You click on custom grid. So from custom grid, you can either add below or add to the right. So I want to add first to the bottom, and then I'm going to add some panels to the right till I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then up here, I'm going to add 1 to the right, and then I'm going to go back up here and deselect the custom grid. So here will be my option. Let's say I'm going to do calls. Then I will select yellow, and it will pull up the same one. And on this one, I actually do like to see the chart and the ActiveTrader. So I'm going to pull this over. I got to make sure I can see enough of that. And the chart isn't as important, but I do like to see it. So I like it to match my chart over here. So I'm going to change that to the 1 minute. And then I might zoom it in. And actually the other thing I do is I change this so I can expand it just a little bit, just so I can see a little room there. And then down below here, I'm going to drag these down just a little bit and get rid of that panel. So this again is my same ticker up here. So I'm going to match that with red, match that with red. And then this is going to be my VIX. So I'm going to keep that unlinked. This one is NASDAQ futures. And this one is S&P futures. So these 3 are going to be unlinked. They're not going to link. They're always going to stay the same. But I am going to change these to a 5-minute chart. 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So this one is going to be a longer. It's going to be a 10-minute chart from above. And this one's going to be a 5-minute chart from above. So now I have a 1 minute up here. Down to the left, I have a 5 minute. And then to the right of that, I have a 10 minute. And it just gives me the opportunity to see a little bit more from a bigger scale. A lot of times if you just go off the 1 minute, you don't really see everything. You don't see the bigger picture, and you get into some moves that are a little bit too small. So that is my setup. And then what I do here, click auto send. I guess I better link this one. So that's linked. Those 2 are linked. This one is a call or a put. If I want to switch this to a put, I'll just go up here and change it, because I don't need both at any one time. I'm not trading both. So I will just change these back and forth. Let me remove that. And so this acts the same as the other page. Also has the templates, everything the same. And here's one thing I might do when I'm scalping. I might actually buy on the market. I usually limit on the market, but if something's running, I might buy. And I might sell on the market. If it's really pushing into momentum, it could move, drastically in a couple of seconds. So Sometimes I will sell at market. A lot of times though, I'll just TP at a level. So this is kind of my setup. If you have any questions, if I left anything out, I guess let me know in chat or direct message me. And otherwise, this is how I set it up. Thanks.